Hello, welcome to the Villa View. It's time for the post-match pint, and quite frankly, I cannot believe that we're coming on here and talking about a defeat. I'm joined as ever by Chris Dolan. Neil is with us as well from For the Love of Paul McGrath podcast, and we've also got a debutant in Tom Nibb, who you might know from TK Prince in everyone's shirts at the moment, including the one I have on now. And Dolan, I'll come to you first. And if you'd have said to me when we were 2-1 up that we would end up losing that game, I would have laughed. I cannot believe we're coming on here and talking about a defeat like that.
If you'd have said to me after the first half, being 1-0 up, we'd lose the game. I thought they come into the second half quite well, and I suppose that's just football for you, mate. You gotta take it. You just gotta take it and crack on. And they scored 3 goals, and they're just one of those teams. They're just, and then we spoke about it on the preview. They're just one of those teams that just find results.
Yeah, they wouldn't go away.
And they just wouldn't go away, and we completely outclassed them in the first half. Like, such swagger and style and confidence about us. And then I don't know, like, maybe did we fall victim to a bit of confidence, but maybe overconfidence. Bit like Newcastle on Saturday. And I spoke to a few of the coaches, and they were maybe sort of saying that we overplayed it a touch against Newcastle in the second half. We were a bit sloppy, and you sort of wonder if that kind of crept in tonight. But no, I'm gutted, but I'm not going to come on here and rant and rave and kick off and single players out and
No.
Have a go. I'm not going to have a go. I'm actually annoyed, but there's part of me that is quite calm and relaxed because we play like that, as you said before we went on air. You play those, you play that game tomorrow and you win it. Shades of West Ham away in that as well.
A little bit, yeah.
We were just so dominant.
It's this kit.
Again, I'm not gonna dig out anyone, but I think if you're bringing on Keenan Davis to try and find something and try and find a goal in a game, then you're on a hiding to nothing. And again, that these kind of scenarios show up our lack of depth at the top half of the pitch, and Watkins needs some serious support.
Yeah, I mean, I think Davis is still looking for the ball he tried to trap when he first came on. I think he still doesn't know where it is now. I mean, Neil, first half, so fluid, so excellent going forward. We were all raving about us on the WhatsApp group at half time, but it's a lesson, isn't it? Didn't take the chances in the first half. Burnley took theirs in the second, and we've lost the game.
Yeah, it's a cliche game of two halves. I didn't want to have to say that, but it basically sums it up so well. First half we were very fluid. Even looking at the goal was just very fluid movement. There was it was lovely link-up play between our wide players and our full-backs. I actually messaged into the group saying our full-backs are a genuine weapon against any team in the first half, because they had carte blanche down either wing, and they were fantastic. Our 2 central midfielders, and Douglas Luiz and McGinn, all they had to do was hang around the centre of midfield and stop Ashley Westwood playing the ball around. It was very, very easy for our back four. Emi Martinez, I think they had 4 shots in the first half, all right, but a lot of them were off target. Ollie Watkins was outstanding in the first half, getting in between the 2 centre halves. He just gave, once again, he did it at the weekend as well, but today as well, he gave an exhibition of how to play up front on your own against 2 larger centre halves. Everything was going swimmingly, and then the halftime whistle came.
I mean, it's a killer question, Tom, but what did Burnley do differently in the second half from the first? Because they were a different outfit. We still had moments, but Burnley were a lot better in the second half than they were in the first.
100%. I think for me, they just kept at it, and you see their second goal, it's just a stroke of luck, and the third one's a good header into the right place. There's only so many times I can say it seems like a freak game. I think we kind of maybe took our foot off the pedal a little bit too much, being 1-0 up at half time. But you say they were a different team. I don't think they were anything special second half.
No, not special, but they had a bit more about them, didn't they? They brought Vidra on, and actually, just by him being something a little bit different and closing down and putting the defenders under pressure, I think he probably made a little bit of a difference for them.
Yeah, he did. You can't deny that. But I don't know. It's one that I think we'll all struggle to explain, to be fair. We should have won it. We should have had it wrapped up. Nick Pope, man of the match by quite a distance on that pitch. And I can't understand how he's not England's number 1 for me.
No, he definitely should be, and he's been outstanding in recent weeks, and was again tonight. I mean, Dolan, all the zip and pizzazz we played with in the first half, we were fizzing the ball around, lovely. But I actually said, I can't remember which WhatsApp group it was in. I said, you can see now that we're recovered from the COVID. We're playing with the pace again and the tempo that we want to see from Villa. But in the second half, really, once we went behind, that tempo wasn't really there. Did you think we tired again a little bit?
Yeah, we did. We looked a little bit leggy in the second half, and whenever they went 3-2 up, I never really thought we were going to get back into it or even create a chance in the last few minutes. I mean, I don't know, people once again on here singling players out, Mings this and Mings that.
I mean,
it's ridiculous. Like, I almost feel like, what's the point? You know, like I don't understand like why you.
I'd love to know what was uniquely Tyrone Mings' fault in that game. If someone could tell us.
Absolutely nothing. Nobody made a mistake. There was, of course, at any goal you can see, there's always, you're always going to look back and there's always going to be mistakes that leads to goals. That's how goals happen. But why do we have to start think it's okay to single players out and come on here and, take pleasure, joystick taking pleasure and I was right all along. Well, man, I'm sorry, you're not. And I just think it's ridiculous. Why can't we just go, do you know what? You win games, you lose games. We're on 29 points. This is this season. We've almost doubled our points tally to where we were last season. We win that game, we're sitting sixth. I don't understand. I'm annoyed, I'm frustrated, I'm angry like everyone else. But what are people's problems? Single players out. I just don't understand it. So yeah.
I mean, I saw nothing in that game that you could pin on Tyrone Mings and say that defeat was down to Tyrone Mings.
It was nobody's individual fault.
You win as a team, you lose as a team.
Yeah, exactly. End of. Move on.
We didn't do. What about all the chances we missed in the first half? That wasn't Tyrone Mings. I mean, I think we can agree that's the reason why we lost the game, because we didn't put the game to bed at half time like we probably should have done.
Nick Pope, proving again that he's as Tom said, like that he should be England's number one. Whose fault's that? Well, I suppose that's definitely Tyrone Mings' fault. Definitely got to blame Aston Villa for Nick Pope being such a world-class goalkeeper. Useless, honestly.
I mean, Neil, I don't know what you think of all that. I mean, that just seems ridiculous to me.
Yeah, there's a lot of ridiculous things out there, and I agree. I sent a message in as well. 74th minute, Villa going to Europe. Twitter was full of it. 79th minute, make some feckin' subs. Dean Smith, in the space of 5 minutes, it was a case of I always thought that there should have been subs brought on. Maybe you could make the argument subs should have been brought on, but we could still have conceded both those goals. It was Burnley subs that made the difference, and that's not because Villa's team tired as such. It's because they completely changed their system when they brought Jack Cork on. When Jack Cork came on, it stopped Ollie Watkins from getting in between the two centre halves, and that really nullified what we were doing really well in the first half. He was able to drag them left and right, create space for our two wing backs, create space for Grealish and for Bertrand Traore and the wings as well. But when they brought on Jack Cork, it just completely solidified that central defence. We couldn't get that out ball in there at all. That's the reality of it. They made some really good. They made some really good tactical changes, and that's not saying that Dean Smith was naive and didn't make any changes either. It's just they solidified themselves. I'm sure every Burnley fan is saying, Jesus, we were shite the first half. We played like we really always play in the second half. It's always going to be horses for courses. It's always going to be fans are going to think that Villa were outsmarted, but they weren't. They played the exact same game plan that they always play in the second half. They made substitutions to try and get back into the game. We were caught by 3 sucker punches across to the back post. Yes, the zone and the marking didn't work for us. We left 2 centre halves at the back post. The second goal, if anybody out there actually even, that's just a fluke. It was just a pure fox of a goal. And then the third goal, he heads that 100 times if it doesn't go in the back of the net. And I always feel like I'm making excuses for wonder goals or fluke goals or whatever like that. But it really was. It really was. I agree with Dolan 100%. You can't single out anybody directly. I don't think it was a Dean Smith mistake or anything like that, or misstep. I just think it was one of those games whereby a home team just clicked into gear. We had a bad 5 minutes. They had a very, very fortuitous 5 minutes, and we lost the game 3-2. good thing about it is we've got a game coming up the weekend against Southampton. You get an opportunity to try and right or wrong again, even though Southampton are flying high at the moment. But, you just never know. You never know in this game, and that's just 100%. That game just 100% proves it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a collective thing. If someone makes an individual mistake, I don't like anyone getting abused, but I could understand why players would be getting questioned in the comments. But there was no individual mistake in that game that cost Villa. Villa lost as a collective tonight. That's the way it is, and I wouldn't have it any other way, and I wouldn't listen to anyone else that's saying any different. Tom, let's look at a little bit of positivity. I mean, as I say, first half absolutely brilliant. Watkins' finish was just something special, and it's great to see him scoring consecutive games, isn't it? And you can just see the fact that he scored in the last game. It's released something within him.
Yeah, straight away I said, he's going to score so many goals for this club. He gets into such unbelievable positions that we haven't seen a striker do for quite some time. We had Tammy Abraham a couple of seasons ago, but he would get into that position and miss 4 times out of 5.
Yeah.
Watkins is all-round play exceptional. He's got a goal tonight, delighted for him. Matty Target, he should be in the England squad. I'm just going to keep on calling up players for England here, but Matty Target, ball in there, and Watkins' positioning superb. It's a massive positive now he's started scoring again. And can you see him stopping scoring?
Well, hopefully he doesn't. We could do without him going 9 or 10 games without a goal again. That's for certain. And Dolan, Jack, had been a while, to be fair, without a goal for his very high standards as well. His all-round games, obviously, there. We wax lyrical about him every single week. But again, it's good to see him get on the score sheet because, again, I think he probably needed a goal a little bit as well.
Yeah, no, I'm just reading some.
And he was brilliant tonight as well.
So
Forget the comments.
That run was out of this world. Absolutely out of this world. If that had gone in, I mean, who cares if we'd lost the game? Absolutely incredible. So yeah, it was. He was another level again. I thought again had a better game. Made some great interceptions, great through balls, especially for the chance that Watkins had in the first half. But yeah, still it's got it, man. Like, it's a hard one to take, isn't it? So
yeah, it's difficult.
Yeah, I haven't got an awful lot to say tonight, really. I
mean, none of us like losing. Obviously, I mean, there's certain ways to lose, and Villa have lost tonight, having actually played some great football, Neil. I mean, the Barkley one on half time. I mean, from the Watkins miss that Dolan's just talked about, how unlucky was Barkley to see that cannon back off the bar. I mean, that completely changes the game, doesn't it, if that goes in?
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. That wonder save the Pope makes from, I'm going to say it was Bertrand Traore when...
good save.
It was a fantastic save. It was bad height for a goalkeeper and everything gets down to it. We created chances. Look, we're all salty after this loss today. And I know I'm usually optimistic, but and I am optimistic after this, but give me that kind of a game today whereby we're creating chances and maybe we are missing chances than some of the games last year whereby we barely had shots on target. When we got to put the two up against each other. We're not a finished article. We may make another signing over the next 4 days. We may not make another signing over the next not 4 days, 5 days, whatever it is. We may not make another signing over the next 4 or 5 days. But it isn't the case to kind of fully throw your hands up in the air and say this is going to be the defining point of the season. I may be wrong in saying that, but I don't think it is. I just think it's one of those losses. The fact that we've thrown this away. This team looks galvanised. This team looks like it's got a bit of steel in its belly after last year. And, I think we look back and we'll say that it was a frustrating game, but realistically, I think it'll just be one game amongst a season of loads and loads of positives when all is said and done. And while we're salty about it now, yeah, look, it's a 3-2 loss against Burnley. We beat Southampton at the weekend. It all evens itself out. So onwards to the next game. That's the way I feel about tonight.
Yeah, and Tom, every time we've come on here after a game, maybe with the exception of the Leeds game, although I do think there was various turning points in that game that could have made that game go differently. But for every game Villa have lost, they've been in it. Like we've dominated that game. So I haven't seen the stats after the game, but we've lost that game having been in it. There's so many games, like Neil said last season, where we would lose a game and just not be in it at all. So the progress is there for everyone to see. We're light years away from what we were last season.
Yeah, the progress. I mean, I find myself saying to people, come at work and people are talking to me about the Villa, and it's like, oh yeah, but we genuinely could have been on a title charge because of the West Ham game, Burnley home game, Southampton home game, and all of a sudden, all these games you look at, it's only the Leeds game we really struggled in. Mm. And I think that sums it up completely. The change is just amazing. You're going to win some games where you don't deserve to. You're going to lose some games where you don't deserve to. Tonight, we didn't deserve to lose, I don't think. It's frustrating. None of us like it, but the improvement is there to see. We're going to go a long way if we can keep this team together. We're going to go a long way if we can keep this management team together. Everything, we're looking up. It's looking really good.
I mean, I don't talk about looking up. I'm not sure what Dolan's actually looking at, whether it's his TV or the comments on his phone. He seems to be looking at everything but the screen. Come on, Dolan, give us a smile. It's not all bad.
Got Gillette soccer looking special on.
Okay. Forget that. I mean, to be fair, coming on and doing this has actually calmed me down, because when I first came on, I was swearing, ranting and raving. It's just frustrating, isn't it? We're all frustrated, and Dean Smith will be frustrated. I mean, I've not seen what he said after the game. Obviously, we've come straight on and do this. But Dolan, what will he be saying now, do you think?
Probably very much what we're saying, like, how have we lost that game, you know? But then I think he's going to look at the second half, and I think there'll be a few choice words. Maybe, you know, as we touched on, the intensity just kind of dropped and fell away, and didn't take our chances, and they crowded us out. And I think, you know, Jack Cork coming on, they changed their shape. I mean, I've never seen a team in the first half post so little threat to our goal. I mean, they didn't do anything in that first half. I mean, literally nothing.
I know.
So I mean, if they didn't change it, then it was only going to go one way. And he changed it, brought on Jack Cork. You know, again, not a household name, but the guy's played 499 times in his career, so he's got a bit about him. I thought Westwood had a good game. Thought Luton had a good game. You know, two players that weren't good enough for us a few years ago. Thought they played well. Yeah, I mean, Chris Wood, I sort of touched on him sort of last year and a bit this year. You know, kind of player that you would happily bring off. You know, if you're going to bring on a danger man from the bench, you'd want someone like a Chris Wood who banged in 14 goals last season, and that's exactly what he does. He doesn't do an awful lot in the game, but you stick a ball in the box for him, and he scored a worldly of a header there, which the keeper had no chance. So I mean, all three goals, like I say, were all pretty unavoidable. I mean, people are talking about Zula Markin, but you know, we have had 7-8 clean sheets this season. So you know, you can't just all of a sudden concede 3 and then change the way you play. You got to be confident in how you play, and like I say, you have to stick with your philosophies. And you know, again, we said again, you're going to win some and you're going to lose some. But if you keep on chopping and changing and changing your tactics and changing the way you play and changing your shape and your system after you win a game or lose a game, then you're never going to have any consistency. So you know, I don't think Zula Markin's going to be the answer if you change it and go. I mean, I prefer man marking personally, but listen, we've kept 7 or 8 clean sheets this season, and back in the last season we were hard to break down as well. So, like I say, yeah, it's tough to take, but it is what it is.
I mean, I think we go through spells, really little runs of conceding from corners, and like you, I'd probably, if I had to choose, I'd choose man marking myself. But there's a reason that us and the people in the comments, there's a reason none of us are football managers or football coaches. Neil, there'll be a reason why we defend in that way. And I just wanted to know from you. I mean, we talked about Jack Cork coming on and kind of steadying Burnley a little bit and giving them a platform to go on and win that game tonight, where it didn't look likely at all in the first half that would happen. Is Sanson going to be that man for Villa, someone that we can bring on that might steady us, might settle us when a game's in the balance, just put his foot on the ball and look after it?
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, absolutely. Like you could see today that our substitutions were very much in wide areas and bringing Jack in central.
You could predict the subs, couldn't you? You could predict them before the game, the 2 subs coming on El Ghazi and Trezeguet before behind.
Exactly. You could absolutely do that, and like your attacking options are limited. There's nothing wrong with El Ghazi and Trezeguet. They're far from the players that we saw play this time last year. You know, they've really blossomed into good players, and I'm delighted to have them on the bench. And far be it from me to say that they shouldn't be ones being brought on. I'm delighted to have them. But if you have a Morgan Sanson come on there, and you don't have, you can keep Jack on out in the left on Matty Loughton. linking up well with Matt Targett out there, and maybe bring a Sanson on instead of a Ross Barkley or instead of a John McGinn, and not have to make so many changes. I think you have to want to only make one change as opposed to two or three like that. You made a good comment earlier. I don't know whether you said it on the podcast, but I know you said it prior to this, is that not having a viable striking option to bring on, these are the games where it will hurt us, because it's something you could just even bring on as a change of pace, even as a change of, when they changed their tactic to bring on Jack Cork and our through balls to Ollie Watkins weren't going. It's no shame to Ollie Watkins to bring him off after 65, 70 minutes, to change it up and bring on maybe another striker to run him around a small bit more. And that viable option isn't on the bench at the moment. We're probably well stacked, I think, in the other areas, and Sansan's definitely going to give us a good presence in midfield from what I've seen of him. But I would be hoping that maybe they're having a little eye towards maybe bringing in a lone striker, or maybe bringing in an wily old fox to come on in a game like that against a battle-hardened Sean Dyche team that could maybe do something. But obviously we've got Wesley coming back. But I think we'll probably look to maybe make the most of something if it comes our way over the next few days in the transfer market.
I mean, Neil, I feel like you know everything, so I'm going to come to you for this because I don't know the answer. But haven't we got 25 players registered? Or have I imagined that?
Yeah, we do. But who's to say we don't sell players?
We'd have to shift someone, wouldn't we, to get a new striker in?
Yeah.
Someone has to go. I mean, I guess Keenan would go on loan, would be my guess.
That's exactly, yeah. That's what I was thinking. There seems to be a lot of talk that Stoke wanted him and so on. But that's probably the chess game that they're looking at weighing up over the next few days is, do we bring in a player, or do we play the hand that we're dealt with? And look, I'm a big fan of strengthening from a position of fortune. So we're in a good position. We feel good. We've got a successful start to the season, and if we strengthen now, it could push us on. I always go back to, I think it was the 99 season when we were top of the league and we didn't strengthen. And then you go back to, what was it, the 92 season as well, and we brought in Cascarino instead of sharing him. We didn't strengthen the way that we should have when we were flying high in the league.
Good move.
It's a recurring theme, I think. But so that's just the way that I am. I strengthen from a position of strength really is what I'd like to do. But yeah, it's the chess game. I'm sure Johan Lang is playing at the moment, whereby he's going to have to move players out, like maybe a Keenan Davis out on loan. Maybe we see Freddie Gilbert depart.
Yeah, I forgot he was in the 25.
He's in the 25, and we've got three goalkeepers in there with some good decent options in the bench. Maybe someone like a Jed Steer makes a move outwards. I don't think they would do that personally, just because of what happened last year with all of the goalkeeping issues. But I think we probably will see someone like maybe Freddie Gilbert or maybe Keenan Davis go on loan to make space for somebody. That's if they even want to bring somebody in. I don't know. I personally would bring in maybe another striking option. I know people in the comments are probably going to say we don't need a striker. We got Louis Barry, but
there'll be a few of that, I'm sure.
We'll see. Come Monday, we might either have Louis Barry as people want, or we might have another striking option. Either way, it'll be exciting come Monday.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully I'm not taking the producer by surprise here, and I'm hoping he's got it prepped, although it's a big ask actually for him to have updated the league table before we come on. But if we have got the league table, could we possibly flash it up on the screen now, Adam? Because I made the mistake of when we were winning of looking at the league table and getting all buoyant and getting all high about where Villa were going to finish, and then obviously we ended up losing the game, so I haven't looked at the league table since. It's not flashing up on my screen, so I'm presuming that we don't. Oh no, he does have. There we go. There we go. So the league table was looking a lot fresher when I looked at it when we went 2-1 up, Tom. But what do you make of that, and where we sit now, Tom?
Well, look, it's an improvement. 4 games before the end of last season, you never thought we'd be 10th in the Premier League. Not even halfway through our season this year. So it's just frustrating. I said it in my last little snippet on there. We've had so many chances to win games. We've been unlucky. Where games like Man City, where we've been mugged off a little bit by refereeing decisions, and it's frustrating. But you do need to look at it from a positive point of view. We're progressing, 10th in the league. we can finish higher this season. I think we will. I think we're looking at 8th, 7th, 6th. It's a very realistic finish now. And, people keep on doubting us and saying, "Oh no, you'll be about 14th. You'll just have to like it." Well, what's suggesting that? We're playing well every game at the moment. So hopefully, if we can sneak into 7th spot, I'd be absolutely fine.
Yeah, and I think there's every chance that can happen. I think 6th, 7th is completely viable this season, and that's worlds away from just hoping and praying that we finished and scraped by to 17th last season like we eventually ended up doing. I'll thank all three of you for coming on tonight. Just a little bit of admin before we go. Obviously, Purity sponsored this show, and we're all delighted about that. If you do go on their website and you want 10% off, it's been flashing up at various points through this show. If you use the code #VillaView, you'll get 10% off all their goodies. Also, we've now got some posters on our Villa View store as well. I mean, I'm pretty sure absolutely nobody cares about this tonight, but if you do want some posters, you do want some mugs, then go and visit our shop. Another little plug for Tom as well with his printing business. You'll find him on Instagram. Is it Print TK on Instagram?
Prince TK now, at Prince TK.
Yeah, he'll sort your shirts out like he sorted mine out for me here. He's done a really, really good job, and his business is growing all the time. And it's always good to help out small businesses that are Villa fans. We'll be back on Saturday night around 10 o'clock for the post-match pint after Southampton. Crucial that Villa get back to winning ways and bounce back quickly, because that's the thing really this season. We haven't really had a bad run, and none of us really want to see us go on one anytime soon. So thanks to everyone that's joined us and everyone that has commented, even though I'm sure there'll be plenty in there that we would all disagree with. We do appreciate all the support that's given the channel. If you're not subscribed to the Villa View, then make sure you're doing that, because I haven't said that for about a year. I keep forgetting, and the numbers aren't going up as quickly as we would like. Back on Saturday, as I say, up the Villa.